Steady now. Hello, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Evening. Had another rush to get here. I was still eating her roast dinner at quarter to 7, scoffing it down. Well, you're in for a treat because plenty of the quiz has been written by Faye, so it'd be good to see whether lazy. No, it would be good to see whether it's easier, the same, or harder, even. I'm doing just another minute or so to tick over, and we'll get started. Wait for the people leave it to the death. Well, it could well be harder.
We shall see.
Ah, Willow. This is a pleasant surprise for us. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Why have you been numbered? You know, I'm all for the playing of cricket or any sports. You know, if you can go out and play now, you should. Ah, nice to see you.
Jane and family.
Yeah, hi Jane. You still hurt? Is it because you couldn't see the fast ball and it hit you somewhere in the midriff? Hashtag what? Well, it's 7 o'clock, so let's get going. You know, time waits for no man. So the first round, written by Faye, is called Transport Around the World. Transport Around the World. What is the name of a train that goes up and down a hill? What is the name of a train that goes up and down a hill? Specifically, up and down a hill. Is he nervous? He should be nervous. This is his big night, isn't it? I'm going to big him up, give him a big old speech. You're ironing and Andy's chatting.
Multitasking. Mrs. Jackson.
Hello. Question 2. How many hours did the first non-stop flight between the UK and Perth take? How many hours did the first non-stop flight between the UK and Perth take? Well, I don't know if Mr. Steve Lapton is here or Mr. John Snyder. How very disappointing. I'm going to just ignore their emails if they send me emails next week. Question 3. What is the name of the airport in New Orleans? What is the name of the airport in New Orleans? Question 4. What was the symbolic motor car of East Germany? What was the symbolic motor car of East Germany? Faye and I have been on a little East Germany car tour, so we know.
I've been in one. It's scary.
Question number 5. What is the busiest port in Colombia? What is the busiest port in Colombia? Where your coffee and drugs come from. Right, round number 2 is based upon the top 10 countries in the world that have the highest GDP, the highest gross domestic product. Any order is absolutely fine. You can list down any of the top 10 and you'll have a point for each. But if you pick a country that's not in the top 10, for countries with the highest GDP, you will score nothing for this round. So away you go. I think there's a few easy ones to find, but then depends how risky you are in terms of your strategy. So while you're thinking about that, well, that's faith for you. This round's mine, this second one, which is I think quite a bit easier. Definitely got to be 5 easy points to pick up there, but a possible 10. So while you're thinking about that, I will have a drink. So again, we're looking for the top 10 countries in the world by gross domestic product. I reckon if Steve Leppin comes at like 7:30, I'm here, saying I'm here, I should ban him from the next quiz. Hey, William. So on that top 10 countries of GDP, this is taken from 2018, but it doesn't actually change anything if you look at today's numbers. The top country had a GDP of 20.4 trillion, and the bottom country, number 10, had a GDP of 1.7 trillion in US. This is in US dollars. Okay, so while you continue to go through that, we'll move on to the sport round. This was written by me. The question 1, what is the point value of the yellow ball in snooker? What is the point value of the yellow ball in snooker? Yeah, possible. 3 a.m. Eagles game, yeah. Question 2, where were the Olympics held in 1988? Where were the Olympics held in 1988?
Yeah.
Question 3, how big is an Olympic-sized swimming pool? How big is an Olympic-sized swimming pool in length? In meters?
Which one do you think?
Oh dear. Enjoy it.
I think he's coming back. He's coming back. Because they were saying goodbye.
Okay.
End of the week, aren't they?
It's not back in work until Friday. Number 4, the Naismith Award is presented in which sport? The Naismith Award is presented in which sport? Question 5, what football team plays their home games at the Majewski Stadium? What football team plays their home games at the Majewski Stadium? They are in the championship. That's to help you out. I'm feeling very generous.
It needs to become 3.
Right, so the round number 4 this week is the Quizmaster versus Mr. Andrew Akwie. So very exciting. Andrew was born in Purley Cottage Hospital in Purley. Spent his childhood in Riddlesdown. A former student of the Royal Russell School. Small world, eh? Anyway, this is something you can all have a go at. Question 1. Which everyday expression is commonly accepted to have come from a comment made by Horatio Nelson? Which everyday expression is commonly accepted to have come from a comment made by Horatio Nelson? Question 2. John Phillips and Denny Doherty were the male members of which 1960s band? John Phillips and Denny Doherty were the male members of which 1960s band? Question 3. Mendoza, M-E-N-D-O-Z-A, Mendoza, is a famous wine region in which country? Mendoza is a famous wine region in which country? I've every faith in you, Andrew. Absolutely, better late than never. Better late than never.
Hi, guys.
So the question you just missed, Mendoza is a famous wine region in which country? Question 4. Who was the US president in 1950? Particularly good year for a very, very young Andrew. And question 5, the Van Gogh painting, Starry Night over the Rhone, is housed in which French gallery? The Van Gogh painting, Starry Night over the Rhone, is housed in which French gallery? Okay, moving on to a round called Cats and Dogs. Cats and Dogs. Another one of Faye's rounds. Cats and Dogs. Question 1. Who wrote the West End musical Cats? Who wrote the West End musical Cats?
That's your easy one.
You want it?
You got him.
You just come to say hello, haven't you? He says, I hope you're all in your best behaviour. It's very hard work being a quiz. Off you go. Right, question 2 of the cats and dogs. From the TV programme, he's had a hard day, yeah, he has.
Yeah.
From the TV programme, what was the name of the biggest dog in the world? So from the TV programme, what was the name of the biggest dog in the world? Is Andy confident, Tricia? Is he confident? Question 3, what did the singer Cat Stevens change his name to? What did the singer Cat Stevens change his name to? I'm very good at spellings, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for more people to come forward for next week's quiz for the Quizmaster versus contestants. They just need to give me a little biog about their lives so far, their interests. I will come up with something to test them. Don't be shy. You know how to reach me or Faye.
I think one of your sisters should volunteer.
Yeah, I think they should as well. Absolutely. Question 4. What is the name of the dog in Jim Carrey's The Mask? What is the name of the dog in Jim Carrey's The Mask? Not really, because you don't, it depends how greedy you are. You know, I reckon you could easily get 5. Oh, I know a little bit about you, just a little bit. Well, maybe I can do that, yeah. And question 5, in the Looney Tunes cartoons, what is the name of the cat? In the Looney Tunes cartoons, what is the name of the cat? Suffering Succotash. That was my impression.
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah, exactly. What's the matter with these people?
Good.
So just one audio round this week, and the audio round is coming up. Dying from hay fever.
Oh, hay fever.
Really, at this late stage? What's he allergic to? The autumn? Oh, Ramon.
Oh.
Okay, so what we have 5 songs. One from the 60s, one from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I only need you to tell me what's the name of the artist you're hearing. What's the name of the artist? Nice and straightforward. Obviously, William, I expect you to Willow. I expect you to get the 80s one, but I think you'll get plenty more too. So here comes number 1. Let me just turn the volume up. Don't want your love anymore. Don't want your kisses, that's for sure. I die each time I hear this sound. Here it comes. So who's the artist of that? Just do what I do, Nikki. Just turn it upside down and shake it. The crumbs will come out. It will live to fight another day. So that was the 60s song. Which artist was that? And now you need to give me the 70s coming up now. Crackling rosy, get on board. We're gonna ride till there ain't no more to go. Taking it slow. Lord, don't you know? Have me a time with a poor man's lady, hitching on a twilight train. That's your 70s one. Name of the artist, please. No pressure, Willow, but here comes the 80s one. Might be an advert first. We'll get the advert out of the way.
The best thing about Sussex is you.
Here we go. She's a good girl, loves her mom, loves Jesus, in America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too. And it's a long day, living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard, and I'm a bad boy, 'cause don't even miss it. That was your 80s one. Willow, I hope you got that. Moving on to the 90s, we're going to just turn it up a little bit. Here we go. Here comes the 90s.
Pump it up while your feet are stumping and the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. See, 'cause that's where the party's at, and you find out if you do that. Oh, a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight, make my day. Oh, a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight, make my day.
That was your 90s. And sorry about the dancing. And here comes your number 5. This is the one from the 2000s. Which artiste is this? Hang on, we've got an advert about the George Foreman grill. 1 second. Oh.
Say my name, no one is around you. Say, baby, I love you. You ain't running game. Say my name. You acting kinda shady, ain't calling me baby. Why the sudden change? Say my name. If no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. You ain't running game. Say my name. You acting kinda shady, ain't calling me baby. Better say my name. The day I will call, you would say, baby, how's your day? But today ain't it the same? Every other word is a yeah, okay. Could it be that you are at the crib with another lady?
At the crib with another lady. Okay, there you go. That's your audio. I can't be fairer than that. 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000s. Something for everyone, or something for nothing, nobody. That That's it. That's the halfway stage. So let's go back and give you the answers and see how everyone got on.
Yeah.
So the first round was transport around the world. The name of the train that goes up and down a hill is the funicular, a funicular railway. The first non-stop flight between UK and Perth took 17 hours. The name of the airport in New Orleans is the Louis Armstrong International Airport. The symbolic motor car of East Germany was the Trabant. And the busiest port in Colombia is Cartagena. Hey. Right. Round two, the top 10 countries by gross domestic product. And as I said, you have a point for each one you got right, but you couldn't risk picking one that wasn't in the list because it wipes out your score for this round. So I hope you boxed clever. So in order, didn't have to be in order from your answers, but USA 20.4 trillion, China 14 trillion, Japan 5.1 trillion, Germany 4.2 trillion, UK in at number 5, hot pickers, 2.9 trillion, France 2.9 trillion, but I like to think they're 2.89 trillion really. India number 7, Italy number 8, Brazil.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri, go away. It's listening to me.
Okay.
Brazil number 9 and Canada number 10. As I said, point for each. So you could get a possible 10 if you're very, very brave. But there's some chances there. There's no real shocks there. On sport, the point value of the yellow ball in snooker is 2. In 1988, the Olympics were held in South Korea, in Seoul. An Olympic-sized swimming pool is 50 meters long. The Naismith Award is presented in basketball, and the team that play their home games at the Majeski Stadium is Reading. Right, on to the Quizmaster versus contestant, Mr. Andrew Acquier. Number 1, the everyday expression commonly accepted to have come from a comment made by Horatio Nelson is to turn a blind eye. But John Phillips and Denny Doherty were the male members of which 60s band? The Mummers and the Puppers. Mendoza is a famous wine region in Argentina. US president in 1950 was Harry Truman. And the Van Gogh painting Starry Night over the Rhone is housed in which French gallery? It's in the Musée d'Orsay. The Musée d'Orsay.
One of my favourite galleries.
Yeah. Cats and Dogs. West End musical Cats was written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. A TV programme that had the name of the biggest dog in the world, that was Digby. Cat Stevens changed his name to Yusuf Islam. The name of the dog in Jim Carrey's The Mask is Milo. And in Looney Tunes cartoons, the cat is called Sylvester. And finally, the audio, the artists you heard, 1960s, the Everly Brothers, the 1970s, Neil Diamond, 1980s, Tom Petty, Willow, how do you do? The 1990s was Technotronic. Sorry, Mum. And number 5, you heard Destiny's Child from the 2000s. So the first half, you could have had a maximum of 35 points. How did everybody do? Very respectable, Nicola. Very respectable.
Mm-hmm.
You wiped out on the Greek GDP. Getting greedy, weren't you? You were greedy. You got the 80s. Well done. Bravo. Should have played safe, shouldn't you? Did he? Ramon got Destiny's Child. Oh, he's never going to live that down.
The secret fan.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan.
When you next come round, I'll be buying all their back catalogue.
And Beyonce as well. We'll play Beyonce for you.
Yeah.
Right. So round number 7 is art and literature, and this is written by Faye. Question 1: which post-impressionist artist was famous for depicting the Parisian nightlife? Which post-impressionist artist was famous for depicting the Parisian nightlife? We know, Ramon. We know he doesn't mean it. Question 2: who wrote the book For Whom the Bell Tolls? Who wrote the book For Whom the Bell Tolls? Question number 3: the architect Frank Lloyd Wright designed which famous art gallery in New York? The architect Frank Lloyd Wright designed which famous art gallery in New York? That's fine now. Number 4: which book by Roald Dahl was his first children's book? Which book by Roald Dahl was his first children's book? This was 1961, if that helps. And question 5: what was unusual about last year's Turner Prize winner? What was unusual about last year's Turner Prize winner? If you think that should be the answer, you put that down on your sheet. You put that down on your sheet. So next round is also by Faye, and she's decided to do a round on notorious murderers.
Just to bring it.
So, question 1: one of the most famous serial killers of all time is the gruesome John Wayne Gacy. But what was his given nickname? One of the most famous serial killers of all time is the gruesome John Wayne Gacy, but what was his given nickname? If you suffer from coulrophobia, You probably will know the answer.
I do.
Question number 2. What was the real name of the man unveiled as the Yorkshire Ripper? What was the real name of the man unveiled as the Yorkshire Ripper?
Just did some admin.
Okay, question number 3. Who resided at 10 Rillington Place? Who resided at 10 Rillington Place? Rillington Place. Question number 4. Who was the demon barber of Fleet Street? Who was the demon barber of Fleet Street? And question number 5. Who was the last female to be hanged in the UK? Who was the last female to be hanged in the UK? Okay, the next round, also written by Faye, is entertainment. Entertainment. Question 1. Bossy, Bouncer, and Audrey were all canine characters in which TV soap? Bossy, Bouncer, and Audrey were all canine characters in which TV soap? Question number 2. What is the longest running musical on Broadway? It's also number 2 in terms of longest running in the West End. It opened in the 80s, mid-80s. So what is the longest running musical on Broadway? And it's the number 2 in the West End, opened in the mid-80s.
Claire, you should get that.
Yes, you should. Clara, you should definitely get that. Question number 3. In Netflix's Stranger Things, what is the name of the town where the show is based? In Netflix's Stranger Things, what is the name of the town where the show is based? Question 5, sorry, that's question 4. Question 4, test there for you. We've all played the game Twister at some point in our life or watched people playing it. How many different colour circles are on the Twister mat? I reckon Jane Smith will get this one right. How many different colour circles are on the Twister mat, Jane Smith? And question 5, I didn't know there was a name for this, but there is apparently. But these people, often seen with their notepads and a flask of tea, what niche hobby does a ferroequinologist do? So often seen with their notepad and flask of tea, what niche hobby does a ferroequinologist do? So I've slightly changed round the final round because our American friend is not here this week. I've had a round for ages and ages, which is on TV theme tunes, but a lot of it's UK based. So I'm going to run that as number 10 and get it out of the way. So moving on, the next round is on cartoon animation characters. And which cartoon. So I'm going to give you the names of characters from various cartoons, and you're going to tell me which cartoon they're from. Simples. So number 1, which cartoon are these characters from? Simba, Scar, Mufasa. Simba, Scar, Mufasa. Number 2, these characters, Alfredo Linguini, Anton Ego, and Auguste Gusteau. Alfredo Linguini, Anton Ego, and Auguste Gusteau. Which animation cartoon are they from? Number 3, Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie, and Dr. Finkelstein. Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie, Dr. Finkelstein. Which animation are they from? Number 4, Thumper, Feline, and Flower. Thumper, Feline, and Flower. Which cartoon animation are those characters from? And number 5, sadness, joy, and disgust. Sadness, joy, and disgust. Which cartoon animation are those characters from? Okay, 2 rounds to go. Next round, also written by Faye, is In the News. In the News. This is Faye's news. Question 1. Which 2 songs has the BBC banned the lyrics being sung at this year's last night of the proms? So which 2 songs has the BBC banned the lyrics being sung at this year's last night of the proms? That's the woke BBC. Question 2, Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away this weekend from cancer. Which Marvel film is he most associated with, or is associated with? So Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away this weekend from cancer. Which Marvel film is he associated with? Question number 3. What is the name of the recent hurricane hitting Louisiana and Texas? What is the name of the recent hurricane hitting Louisiana and Texas? Well, you can't remember. Question number 4. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom became new parents. What is the name of their daughter? Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom became new parents. What is the name of their daughter? And number 5, the Education Minister has recently been in the news. What is his name? The Education Minister has recently been in the news. What is his name? Okay, so the last round, I know that we could talk about doing 5, but there are 8. So, you know, it is what it is because it's an old one. I've had it for ages. So we're looking for the name of the theme tunes, TV theme tunes. Here we go. Number 1.
Like the wind.
There you go. That's number one. Which program is that? Moving on to number two. Which TV tune is this? Okay, here comes number three. Which show is this? Nothing contentious there. Here comes number four. Which show is this? Here comes the next one. Number six. Number seven. And the last one. Trish and Andy and my mum and dad are very happy about that. Here we go.
If anybody could see me now, drinking my drink, smoking my cigarettes, if I could see me now, what in the world would she say? Where is the boy who played with a toy?
There you go, it's enough of that one. So let's do the answers. That's the end of the quiz. 2 even rounds of 35 and 35, so 70 points in all. The score, the answers for the last 6 rounds. So art and literature, the post-impressionist artist famous depicting the Parisian nightlife, Henri Toulouse-Lautrec. So that's Toulouse-Lautrec. The person who wrote For Whom the Bell Tolls, Ernest Hemingway. Frank Lloyd Wright designed the Guggenheim. The first children's book by Roald Dahl was James and the Giant Peach. And what was unusual about last year's Turner Prize winner, it was won by a collective rather than by one person. It was won by a collective. Notorious murderers. Famous serial killer John Wayne Gacy had the nickname of the Killer Clown. The Yorkshire Ripper, real name Peter Sutcliffe. 10 Rillington Place, that was John Christie. Demon Barber of Fleet Street was Sweeney Todd. The last female to be hanged in 1955, that was Ruth Ellis. Right, entertainment, Bossy, Bouncer and Audrey, all canine characters in Neighbours. The longest running musical on Broadway and number 2 in the West End, that's The Phantom of the Opera. Netflix's Stranger Things, the name of the town is Hawkins, Indiana. There are 4 different colours on a twister mat: red, green, yellow and blue. Didn't need the colours, just the number. And often seen with their notepad and flask of tea, the niche hobby that a ferroequinologist does, they are a train spotter. Right, the cartoon animation characters, which cartoon? Simba, Scar and Mufasa are from The Lion King. Alfredo Linguini, Anton Ego and Auguste Gusteau from Ratatouille. Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie, Dr. Finkelstein from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Thumper Feline Flower from Bambi. And Sadness, Joy and Disgust are from Inside Out. Right, in the news, the 2 songs that the BBC has banned the lyrics being sung, Land of Hope and Glory and Rule Britannia. Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away. He's most associated with the Marvel film Black Panther. The recent hurricane in Louisiana and Texas, Hurricane Laura, the name of Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom's daughter, Daisy Dove. We know a daisy, not a Daisy Duck, but a daisy. And the education minister recently been in the news. He was in the news when he was in his other job. Probably doesn't say a lot about him really. Gavin Williamson. And the TV theme tunes you heard, the first one you heard was Gavin and Stacey. Then you heard The Great British Bake Off, followed by Strictly Come Dancing, Britain's Got Talent. Then you heard Sherlock, Downton Abbey, and then you heard Line of Duty, and finally Mrs. Brown's Boys. So, as I said, the whole quiz this week, you could have scored a maximum of 70 points. Start sharing how you've got on. I reckon we're looking at about anything around about halfway, and about 50. That's not halfway, is it? That's very decent. They're all halfway scores, apart from Trisha and Andy. Wow. Yay, you dragged it back after wiping out. Well done, you made it to respectability. $42. Yeah. Well done. We're a bit light on players tonight, but I'm thinking that it's the bank holiday. But don't be shy. Give me you know, an overview of you as a person, and I will create one. You could feature in next week's quiz. How exciting would that be? So Mr. Andrew Akwe, he featured in this week's quiz, and as it turns out, look, he's won it. Well done. Well done, Jane. Hey! Yeah, because they got greedy, Sarah. Just greedy, they are. Down in Brighton, greedy. They wanted to get more and they didn't. Hang on a second. The cartoon swung it for you. Hang on, that's not something I would have expected. Normally you'd be moaning about that. So well done. Have a great rest of the bank holiday weekend. Yeah. Nice to see all you guys. Thanks for showing up. And we'll be here next Sunday. We'll have something ready for you. We'll get Mrs. Glennie in again. She's done very well. You know, it was greed. Utter greed. I couldn't have been clearer when I said it. Yeah, take care, everyone. See you later. We'll see you all soon. Have a good Monday.